Radovin awakes in the dark. This is not a dream. He lies on his belly, a garlicky mass filling his mouth. He gags as he pushes the nasty lump out with his tongue. He feels his arms pinned behind his back, his thumbs bound tight by what feels like rough twine. He smells pine sap, and his right cheek is sticky where it presses against the floor. Deck? Agony crackles to life all over his body, bangs on the back of his skull, thunders along his spine, pounds deep in both shoulders, and shrills in his knees and shins. A wave of nausea rolls through him, but he can't distinguish a sickness from motion. How could he be back on a boat so soon? This is not a dream. He slides to the right, his tender shoulder pressing against a wall. He arches his back, and his head touches another barrier a few inches away. He tries to raise his knees, but his buttocks hit the same low ceiling. Is he in a crawl space? He flops to the left. The floor moves with him. A muffled voice outside the walls that surround him shouts something like, "The devil alive!" Radovan isn't sure of the exact words. His Varisian is still shaky, but he realizes he is in a box. A coffin. "Alive!" he yells, but his tongue feels numb from the garlic that dissolved in his mouth for who knows how long before he spat it out. "Let me out," he thinks he says. The coffin shifts hard to one side, and then wobbles before the men set him on the ground, still inverted. The voices rise in argument, and Radovan can make out only a few of the words. Dead alive, dead not dead, devil, and curse or something like it. He spends a second wondering he is face down, another on why his thumbs are tied. Then he focuses his mind on what to do about it. He raises his knees again, trying to ignore the sickening pain, and push open the coffin lid. A coffin nail squeals, but it hardly budges. There isn't enough room for leverage. He rocks side to side, hoping one of his elbow spurs can dig into the soft wood on either side. The band around his thumbs prevents him from striking with any force, but his weight lifts the coffin's edges. Thump, thump, thump. "Alive here!" he shouts. "Not dead! Not dead!" Footsteps retreat from the coffin, and the men outside lower their voices in conference. Radovan hopes they are fetching a crowbar, some hammers, an axe, whatever it takes to get him out of this coffin. He's crawled through smaller apertures before, sometimes sewer drains, and once even through an exceptionally foul privy to gain access to a Chelish noble's home vault, but he has never done it without the clammy fear that has always accompanies him into such tight spots. It catches up to him now, settling in along his spine like a wet cat that has crawled out of a cold river. He hears activity outside, but nothing near the coffin. Someone is stacking things nearby. Tools? Weapons? Radovan has an unpleasant thought. They are stacking wood. His mind reaches for any useful Varisian phrases he can remember, but before he can grasp one, they evaporate, and he resorts to the Varisian words he knows best. No one can mistake his meaning now. A harlot in Caliphas once told him that he curses like a true son of Ustalov. The coffin rises again, unsteady in frightened hands. He imagines the men outside leaning away from the box, afraid to put their hearts too close to the devil inside. They rush toward where Radovin heard them stacking wood, and the coffin flies, giving Radovin half a second of weightless vertigo before it crashes onto what sounds like a pyre fit for a Lenorm king. The twigs are still snapping beneath his weight when he hears the whuffle of torches and the sound of men thrusting their brands into the wood. Radovan thrashes and twists. The twine cuts into his thumbs, and hot blood wells on his skin. He kicks straight down, but the sound of rising flames is louder than the impact of his bare foot. The bastards took my boots, he thinks. For a mad second, the thought of how much he paid the Agorian saddler for those fancy red kickers diverts the course of his anger. "Give me back my damned boots!" he screams. He doesn't notice he has reverted to Taldane, the common tongue. He feels the heat of the fire beneath him. A little heat doesn't bother him. He picks iron skillets off the stove without a mitt. But soon he feels his eyelashes wilting. The flames grow so bright he can see them through the fine seams of the coffin bottom. He knows what happens next, and for a second he considers whether it might have been better to let them bury him alive. This is not a dream.